When it comes to business analytics, by the way, this is a buzzword nowadays. People talk a lot about business analytics. Particularly if you are going for MBA, earlier people used to do, or still they do MBA marketing, MBA HR, MBA systems, MBA finance. So similarly, nowadays many people are doing MBA in business analytics. That's a specialization which is emerging. And some people do my major in marketing and minor in business analytics. So that is another trend that we see. So when you talk about business analytics, what does it really mean? This basically means that when you are making decisions in the company, it could be organization, it could be a company, or it could be an NGO. I will use the word company, but it need not be only company. It could be a school for that matter, or it could be an NGO, or it could be government organization for it, right? But for the sake of simplicity, I will use the term company. So in any company, in any organization, a lot of decisions have to be made, right? And a typical way decisions are made is what we call the HIPPO algorithm. Now, I'm not sure whether you heard this term, but it actually an acronym, a very funny acronym. It basically says highest income person's opinion. In a sense, if you have a meeting where something is getting discussed, ultimately the decision is made based on who is the highest paid, which is typically the boss, and boss makes a decision based on whatever the gut feeling or whatever feeling that or whatever thoughts that person has. The boss makes a decision. That is a typical way many companies make decisions, particularly entrepreneur driven companies or family managed businesses. They tend to have this kind of a setting, or even professionally managed companies will have this kind of a culture where the boss makes a decision. And most of the time you say the boss is the ultimate decision maker in any setting. Business analytics actually talks about process of using data uh, to make decisions. So there's a very famous saying which says that we trust in God and everyone else brings data to the table. And this is where analytics comes in. So analytics talks a lot about how we could use data to make decisions. And so the data will give some insights, and that is how it will help us to make decisions. So that is the essence of business analytics. Uh, now, why would we need data, or why would we need opinions, or why it is difficult to make decisions? So one is that there's a lot of uncertainty whenever you want to make a decision in a company, whether you want to launch a new product, or whether you want to get into a new market, or whether we should order particular raw material or not. Any decisions that are made, there are certain difficulties. What is the difficulty? One is uncertainty, right? We don't know. We things are not certain. Things could change. We think that the business has been doing very good, has been running smoothly for last 6 months, but that doesn't mean the same thing will remain. There could be changes that could happen. Secondly, we may not have enough data to make decisions. We may not get all the data that is required. We don't know what causes what other things. In a sense, A causes B. So we don't know. If I increase sales, we don't know why the sales have increased. Or if increased sales are going down, we don't know why the sales are going down. There could be many reasons that could have been playing out, and we don't know what all that results are. And finally, we have a limited time. We can't analyze data, or we can't take the data or think about it over a period of time. As it is said, no decision is also decision. Right? So if you're not taking a decision, it's also a decision. And we have a limited time in which one has to make a decision. So the process of data driven decision making goes like this. uh, and before I think before going into it, will it be okay if we kind of play a video and play a simple game? Will you be able to participate while speaking about it? You don't need to switch on the videos, but can you speak during the session? Will
Okay.
you, yeah. So I will play a we'll go through the slides, but I'll just play a YouTube video quickly. Mm. Okay, I'm just sharing the screen with the video. So, okay, do you see a video?
Yes.
I'll just play and tell me whether you can hear the voice also.
The
Sound.
BSI team has been called in to help build a
Yes.
better rebooking engine for Air London, an airline that has been in business for a little over 3 years. In this case, you get to try out to be part of the BSI team and help us make some
Shreya, also you're able to hear the sound?
Yes, sir.
decisions based on data and analytics. Good luck.
Irregularities in passenger handling at our hubs is hurting Air London's customer satisfaction ratings. In fact, this past quarter, we were rated near the bottom of all European-based airlines.
Can you give me an example of a typical problem you'd like to resolve?
Yes, here's one. Looks like we're going to have another misconnect situation at our Frankfurt hub. 4 passengers from various locations connecting to our London flight will be landing in the next hour. They've all missed their original connections. But there are only 2 available seats on the last flight today.
So, you need to pick 2 to go and 2 to stay overnight or transfer to other airlines at a higher cost to you.
Yes.
So this is the context of the case. So what
Okay.
is happening is there is this London airport, there's a delay in the flight, and then they have 4 passengers who need to be accommodated, but they can only have 2 seats left. So they have to make a decision which 2 out of 4, right? Now, if you are in that situation, how will you handle this?
I would probably offer a hotel stay to somebody who is okay with the next flight
Mhm.
to compensate the delay. And because they will not be getting the seat on that particular airline,
Mhm.
I may offer them a hotel stay or a good lunch or dinner,
Yes.
depending on the time.
Yes, that is what we need to do. But which 2 of 4? What will your criteria for selection? I will show the names and details of 4 members, but what will your thoughts? I mean, how will you select 2 out of 4? What criteria will you apply?
Mm, not sure how
Okay.
and
Sure. I'll keep on asking this question at least 3 more times with some additional data coming in. Shreya, do you want to give a shot at this time?
Not sure at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll now get into the case. We'll try to see which are those 4 people that we are looking at.
Yes, except ours is the last flight of the day. So we're stuck.
Sounds like it's time to overhaul Air London's rebooking app using a better rules-based engine to include more real-time factors and triggers. Give us access to your information systems and my team will come up with some fresh ideas about how to improve your rebookings.
Jodis turns the project over to Chi and Matt. They start by looking at passenger information for the Frankfurt to London misconnect situation.
The airline uses cameras at check-in to capture passenger photos. Here's the impacted customer report I just built to pull all the basic passenger info Air London uses today, but on a single screen to make our rebooking analysis faster. Jason is flying from Cairo through Rome to Frankfurt and then heading to London. Cheap ticket, which I guess accounts for all the stops. He has more than 4,000 frequent flyer miles this year, 128K total.
Looks like Lana does a little bit of traveling too. We don't have any data about Steffi. She must be a first-time flyer. Long trip for her from Japan.
Check out Conrad. He's a big-time traveler, a Tier 1 customer with more than 260,000 lifetime miles with Air London. We need to keep an eye on him.
Based on this basic data, which 2 passengers would you send to London?
Okay, so these are the details of these 4 passengers. They have got their frequent flyer miles, so we know how much they are flying, how much they're loyal customers to us, and their cost. So I think I'll go one step behind and bring in this image. Now, based on this data, what will you decide? Whom will you send?
So I would give priority to the ones who have more miles, the frequent flyer miles.
Okay, so that
They
would
would,
be
yeah. So one is that Conrad,
hmm,
and the other Jason, because
okay.
they are frequent flyers. And
Mhm. Great. Shreya, what is your take?
I am also of the same view that those who are having the highest flying miles, they should be given the preference.
Okay, great. So let us go ahead. Let us see. So there's no right or wrong, obviously, but we'll try to see, what additional data we
To
get.
create deeper customer insights, Matt and Chi add new fields to the rebooking screen that contain additional information about each passenger from finance.
I've added some financial contribution scores, including lifetime value predictions and current year revenues.
And these fields on profit and frequency of bookings show Jason only books the lowest margin flights. Lana books last minute, but pays full fare, so she's very high margin. Plus, she is booking more frequently. Seems like Conrad isn't a steady traveler, but it looks like his company's booking engine is forcing lower margin choices on him.
Based on this additional information, who do you think should go to London?
Would you like to revise your two choices?
But it looks like his
Yes. Would you like to revise your choices?
I think I would still go with the same,
Why so?
because I feel that they are still the frequent flyers. I mean, because frequent flyer wise, they still would rank higher, right? Compared to Lana
Yes.
and Steffi.
Yes, they give more revenue. That's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Shreya, what is your take on this?
I would like to change my options to second and third because their profit score is higher.
Perfect. So you're giving more weightage to profit.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yes, perfect. Okay. Let us move ahead and see if you get some additional data. Okay.
Before we decide too quickly, it's important to consider some other factors. We can add which booking channels people use, their costs, and other information about the use of those channels. For example, Jason books on the web, a cheap channel, but we can see from the notes that he also exits the Air London site to competitors, so clearly he is price sensitive.
Well, look at Lana. She only books through the contact center, never online. My contact costs us more to serve, but we get additional info by analyzing call center logs. Looks like Steffi booked via a travel agent. And Conrad, he always uses his corporate web engine to book. That's low cost to Air London.
Based on this additional channel report, do you want to
Okay, so second last time I'm asking. Will you change now or will you keep your choices same?
Same choice.
Can you go back to that page, the previous one?
This one?
No, the one where they told us that what channel they used to book.
This one actually. Let me just play
Cost to
it.
Air London.
Based on this additional channel report, do you want to change?
But we get additional info by analyzing call center logs. Looks like Steffi booked via a travel agent. And Conrad, he always uses his corporate web engine to book.
Yes, so Conrad goes to his corporate engine basically, and these two are like web and call center.
So I am not very clear. Does it mean that Conrad incurs less cost to the airline?
Uh, Yes, yes, because
Okay.
they have a kind of a setting with the company. So corporate discounts is what is given. So
Okay.
they have
So
a.
yeah, I would keep Conrad the same. I would
Mhm.
keep that the same.
So you're still going with Jason and Conrad?
Yes.
Okay. Shrey?
Now I would like to switch to Conrad and Jason because they are like causing less costs to the company airline.
Okay. Great. So we'll just quickly go to the last.
That's low cost to Air London.
Based on this additional
Here's something I worked on last night. While we need to put all the factors into the rebooking engine, we also need to build a customer-centric display, one that frontline people like gate agents can use, and to give them a bird's eye view of what's happening for each individual passenger, as well as how valuable the customer is. Here's a mock-up.
I like it. Several different portlets of information, customer, lifetime value, booking history, and weighted on how recently a passenger had issues.
Yes, when I was building that screen, I realized that there are operational real-time factors that we could also add to the customer page.
Good thinking. What other kinds of active information goes into that part of the screen?
Well, for starters, it turns out Lana checked in with an infant in arms. And look, here's another negative factor. Bags from Rome didn't make the Frankfurt flight.
Poor Lana. Maybe the rules engine should give her a break. A baby, lost bags. At least she's going home to the UK, if we send her there as part of the top 2.
Oops, and here's another input from Live Contact Center notes. Adding in calls to customer care while en route. Steffi's original flight from Japan was canceled. She waited 6 hours in Tokyo for her next flight. Look at these call logs. She is not happy.
I think we have a good handle on some factors for the new rule base. Let's bring Jodice up to speed right away.
Based on these active factors, it's time to lock in your final choices.
Okay, this is the final call.
Okay.
Would you change your decisions or will you keep it same?
No, I'll keep it same.
Jason and Conrad?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Shrey?
Same Jason and Conrad.
Okay. Okay, great. I'll now play the clip. I mean, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer. And think the way they have taken decisions is a little different also. But I'll play the
Right.
and then I will discuss it further. It's 2 minutes.
Okay.
The team prepares their presentation and factors in one more new opportunity to do better rebooking.
So, what have you found?
There are a lot of factors that Air London can use to make better rebooking decisions. The good news is most of the information is readily accessible. It's a matter of loading it into their active data warehouse, so it's all in one place, and real-time analytics can be run.
The real-time information should give them a competitive edge since airlines have a lot of moving parts. Speaking of real-time, we thought of one more opportunity. We read in the Times that Air London is adding in-flight internet seatback capabilities.
Our idea is to use pop-up screens to interact with impacted customers, giving them options and gathering information if the system would interact with them in priority order based on the rebooking scoring. For example, we might find out that our top priority passenger, Conrad, would have been happy to take the flight to London around noon the next day.
That freed up a seat. Our number 2 choice, Jason, actually lives in Frankfurt. He'd be fine with canceling the last leg.
So that means your number 3 and 4 choices would have made the last flight of the day?
Right. By having interactive capabilities, we would have accommodated Lana with the baby and Steffi.
Looks like everybody'd be happy. Great work. I'll call Ian to describe how the system could have handled this Frankfurt scenario and see what he thinks of the new rebooking ideas.
Sure, no problem, Chief. And when do I get promoted? I'm tired of carrying Chi.
Thanks for watching another episode of BSI Territory.
Okay, so what do you think? I mean, what do you think you learned from this? What are the takeaways?
So the more data that we have,
Mhm.
our choices will keep maybe getting different.
Mhm.
And we need to analyze a lot of things and criteria before taking a decision.
Right, right. Shreya, what is your thought?
It's like the same, like the more the data we have, we can switch to other decisions based on how we interpret the data.
Yes, yes. So, when we don't have data, we make decision based on what we feel like, and it need not be wrong. We have some thought process, and then we could actually go ahead with whatever data we have. But if we get more data, we can identify all that parameters that are required to make decisions. Then you could actually have more informed decisions, perhaps
Correct.
better decisions in a way. Now that is now when it comes to large organization, it even matters more. If you're a small organization, you are the only decision maker. You do not have any convincing that we have taken this data, because you decide, and they do not need someone else to kind of review it. But in large organization, it becomes even more important that you have this clarity that there are these 7 parameters, and there is some subjectivity. Like for example, one would say that revenue is more important. Someone say profitability is more important. Someone say the relationship is more important, and so on. But this is all in the data, and then we make a call and we say, okay, because we are going ahead with this decision, because we are giving weightage to this 3 criteria over maybe 7 criteria or 10 criteria. We are looking at these 3 variables. That is what we call the data-driven decision making. And this is what you will see in highly professionally managed companies. You will see this kind of approach is used as against what is the HIPPO algorithm, where the boss makes a decision. Data-driven decision making would be where you look at data. So you first start with identifying problem opportunity, identify sources of data, and then pre-process it, because the data may not be in the format in which you are looking at it. Then you want to visualize data. Visualization data would mean putting different charts. Now this was a very simple case, but there could be a data, for example, sales data over last 3 years. Of that data, if you just walk through an Excel file, it will be too much to look into. So we need to visualize, have some charts and so on. And then you can develop a model. What are those factors that we want to look at? And then make the recommendations or decision based on that data. Right? So this is obviously a long process than just looking at data and making a decision. Right? So it requires a lot of work. But that is what we see many large companies are going for. And that is where you will see the analytics is being talked about. So for example, Shreya works in SAP, and then they have SAP HANA, which HANA is nothing but an analytics engine. And companies are going for that kind of a software because they see the value in using analytics. Shreya, would you like to kind of share your experience with HANA? I mean, do you see this data-driven decision making being used in your company?
Actually, as of now, the current situation in Reliance is like it has not yet migrated to HANA, but it uses HANA to a certain extent, like using HANA databases as a data source for Tableau websites. So I have limited inputs about HANA as of now.
Okay, okay. So Tableau is, by the way, the tool for this visualization. So while we could use Excel to build some charts, but if we have huge data which we can't load in Excel, we need some other tool to build those or develop those dashboards or charts. So that is where we'll see this Power BI is one tool which is picking up as a data visualization tool, as well as we'll also see Tableau, which is also very popular and famous for visualization of data. So companies are using these tools because they help them to make decisions. So it may happen that for smaller decisions or for less values kind of decisions, we may not get into developing the model, but we make decisions based after visualizing data. So for example, if you have a revenue sales growth and you see some ups and downs in the sales, looking at a line chart, then you can obviously see that there is a seasonality. There's a season which is determining the sales, and that itself is a good insight that you could get from data. Right? So this not necessarily everybody goes through this entire process. We may actually start with identifying sources of data, pre-processed data, visualized data, and based on that also you make bigger decisions. Yeah, but this is a kind of the process which large organization could follow, or for the matter, a small organization can follow to develop. Now, interestingly, when you look at Zomato, and Zomato will recommend you a few things, or when you buy on shop on Amazon, it also recommends you certain things. That recommendations actually come out of this data-driven decision-making process. So they have this opportunity of recommending products. So if somebody's bought X product, they want to recommend Y and Z. So they would look at different sources of data, the past history of purchase of that particular buyer. They also look at what similar buyers have bought so far. They will pre-process this data, and then they will visualize it. They develop a model basically, and that model is used to make recommendations. And this is all happening automated. There is nobody personally involved. Nobody is looking at data personally, individually. It is all taken, made by the machine. So this data-driven decision making is happening basically with these all apps like Zomato or even Amazon, Flipkart. All those apps are making use of this analytics or this data-driven decision making. Is this clear? Any questions so far?
So is AI also involved in all this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll take a quick 2 minutes break here. And
Okay.
after that, we will get into how it really happens. What are the things involved in it? But before taking a break, let me quickly tell that though not all companies are using it, it is found that those companies who use analytics tend to perform better than who don't use analytics. And this is obviously for large companies, not for small companies. This research has been done for large companies, but there they found that use of analytics really helps. There's a correlation. I mean, higher the use of analytics, higher the business performance. So we'll do one thing. We'll do a quick break and just join back after a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and we'll then start about how this is related to AI and data science and what are these terms really mean when it comes to analytics.